It happened when I was 20 years old. I was traveling through a desert area just before sunset. The road was quiet, empty, and stretched endlessly through dry land and sand. There was a small graveyard near the path, old and forgotten, with broken stones and no lights around it. People usually avoided that place after dark, but I had no choice. It was the shortest way home. As I was passing by, I noticed something strange near the edge of the graveyard. A goat. It was standing completely still, not making a sound. In the desert, finding a goat alone like that is unusual, but not impossible. I thought maybe it belonged to someone from a nearby village. For a moment, I hesitated, but then I decided to pick it up and take it with me. I was riding a horse, so I lifted the goat and placed it in front of me. The horse started running. The wind was cold. The sky was turning dark orange, and the graveyard slowly disappeared behind me. After about 1 kilometer, something felt wrong. The horse suddenly slowed down. I looked down, and that's when my blood turned cold. The front half of the goat was still on the horse, but its back legs, they were still near the graveyard. The goat's body was stretched, impossibly long, like it was being pulled from 2 different places at once. It wasn't normal. It wasn't human, and it wasn't an animal anymore. My heart started pounding. My hands were shaking. I realized I wasn't carrying a goat. I was holding something else, something that shouldn't exist. In pure panic, I pushed it off the horse and kicked the horse to run as fast as it could. I didn't look back. I just ran, but then, from behind me, I heard a voice. It wasn't angry. It wasn't loud. It was calm, and it said, "Your luck was good. You were holding my neck. If you had grabbed me differently, you would not have escaped today." My entire body went cold. I didn't stop. I didn't turn around. I kept riding until I reached a place with lights and people. That night, I didn't sleep. And even today, when I pass near empty places or graveyards at sunset, I remember one thing very clearly. Not everything that looks like an animal is an animal. People in our town avoided the old graveyard after sunset. Not because of stories, not because of ghosts, but because everyone who stayed there too long came back different. I didn't believe any of it. At that time, I was a university student working part-time as a night photographer. I took pictures of abandoned places for a small local magazine. When I heard about the old graveyard at the edge of the desert, I knew it was perfect for my project. I arrived just before dusk. The sky was turning orange, then slowly purple. The wind moved between the broken tombstones, carrying dust and the smell of dry earth. Inside, everything was quiet. No birds, no insects, not even the sound of the road. I started taking pictures. Broken stones, leaning graves, old names that had faded away. Some graves didn't even have names, just empty markers, like someone had been buried and forgotten. Then I saw it. At the far end of the graveyard, there was one grave that looked new, clean, smooth, no cracks, no dust, no flowers. I walked closer, and when I read the name on the stone, my heart skipped. It was my name. I laughed nervously. It had to be a coincidence. Same name, same spelling. It happens. When I looked through the lens, I saw a date under my name. Today's date. I lowered the camera immediately and looked again with my own eyes. The date was gone. Only my name remained. The air felt colder, heavier. The shadows between the graves looked darker, longer, like they were slowly moving. That's when I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, careful. I turned around. No one was there. "Hello?" I called, but my voice sounded weak, like the graveyard was swallowing it. I started walking toward the exit, trying not to run. Then I saw another grave. It had my name too. Then another, and another. Some had yesterday's date, some had tomorrow's, and one had no date at all. That's when I realized the truth. This wasn't a graveyard for the dead. It was a graveyard for the soon-to-be. "You're early," a calm voice said behind me. "Who are you?" I asked. "I keep the records," he said, pointing at the stones. "Everyone who comes here eventually gets one." My phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number. It was a picture of me, standing in the graveyard, looking at my own grave. Taken from behind, I felt something breathe near my ear. "Your date isn't written yet," the man whispered. "That means you still have time." "To do what?" I asked. "To leave," he said, "and never let this place see you again." I ran. I didn't stop until I reached the road and heard normal human noise again. That night I checked my camera. All the photos were normal, except the last one. It was a picture of an empty grave. No name, no date, just a space, waiting. And sometimes when I pass by graveyards, I feel like something is still deciding what to carve there.